What is going on, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Lineman Life Live. It's your observant lineman here, Uche Nwaneri. Woo, man, it's been a busy one. Uh, been busy both here in the city and also online. Just Twitter madness. But hope everybody's having a wonderful hump day. We got a lot of stories to go over. Like, I actually started off this prep for this show today, and I had three specific topics that I wanted to go into and talk about. And I'm telling you guys, now at this point in the day, it's turned into like potentially like 6 or 7. I mean, a lot of stuff going on in sports, a lot of things going on, not just in football, but also in many other sports types in the sporting world. I mean, it's a little bit there's a lot. Now, obviously, some of these I'm going to hit on quick because it's not as there's not as much to really dig into as others, but one that I definitely want to start off on is the quarterback situation in the NFL for some teams in particular that I want to talk about. And there's some things that I think are definitely going to be noteworthy when discussing the QB1s that have been made by a number of teams who have decided who their QB1 is going to be. And we're going to get into that here now. Just give me a second to pull that up. First off, Broncos are reporting Teddy Bridgewater. He's going to be the guy. Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. Honestly, I didn't really know which way this quarterback competition was going to go. I mean, I know that when you're looking at the situation with Locke and Bridgewater, is one really that much better than the other? Well, I mean, to a certain extent, Teddy Bridgewater has shown consistency so far. So far in the preseason. And I just had, where is it? Where did the pitch? Okay, here we go. No, there was another one. Hold on. Here we go. He's shown consistency compared to Drew Lock. He's actually shown, a bit more consistency. QB ratings in the preseason thus far, Bridgewater with an 83.4 and Lock with a 64. So, he'll be the week 1 starter. I don't think that Teddy Bridgewater has made it through an entire season to this point in his career. I remember he was in Carolina. I think he made it through like the first 5 or 6 games before he got injured. So there is a little bit of concern there whether or not he's going to, be able to get through the whole 17 game schedule instead of 18 weeks, 18 week, but 17 game schedule. We'll see how that plays out. I don't know. I don't know. I think that he provides at least the ability to manage the game and make decent decisions. But that doesn't mean that, he'll play at a level that they want. But what does this mean for Drew Lock? For me, I look at this situation and unless there is an unforeseen injury or unforeseen slump in production, I feel like Drew Lock is probably done in Denver. This is probably going to be his last season there. I think this was his last chance to kind of make that impression on the coaching staff and through evaluations. And, he has come up, short somewhat. So Unless he gets an opportunity through another means, I really don't see how they decide to keep him for next season. Now, next year for Teddy Bridgewater, I think, once this season is done, I think there's going to be another kind of process of figuring what their next move is going to be, because Denver is probably going to be in the market for a quarterback. And I'm not sure exactly what Aaron Rodgers, what his contract is looking like in Green Bay. I think he's got this year left. Maybe he has next year. I'm not sure. Somebody can let me know if you know in the chat. But I'm sure that they're going to be looking to try and make a move for Aaron Rodgers when that time comes. It only makes sense. They've got a talented team, and they're finding a path, but you need that piece at quarterback to really give yourself the best opportunity to be a contender. So I think this would be a situation that Denver will be looking forward to next year. But Teddy Bridgewater named QB1 for Denver, but also, Trevor Lawrence also named QB1 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this one, to me, while we all know that this is what the ultimate outcome was going to be for Jacksonville, I got to be honest here. I am scared for Trevor Lawrence. I am scared for the situation that he is in, because, as I keep saying time and time again, I've been there and I've seen how badly this can play out for a quarterback, a rookie quarterback who's expected to uplift the franchise in the way that he is. I just don't see many bright spots. Hopefully I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. This is my squad. I mean, I would love to see them, surprise everybody and win, 7, 9 games. You know what I mean? Be competing for the playoffs in this rookie year. But right now, based on what we see and based on what we know, that is not even going to be close to a plausible scenario for Trevor Lawrence, unless there are some major changes in operation and philosophy in Jacksonville. It's just not, it's not in the cards. But I think that this was a situation that did not need to be drawn out like it was. I think this was a situation that really, this shit was drawn out way too far. I think Urban Meyer did a disservice to the entire team by not picking and moving behind his first-string quarterback, fairly early. Why are these guys sharing reps the way they are if regardless of all this hoopla, that Trevor Lawrence is going to be your guy? That's the thing. Trevor Lawrence was going to be the guy. We all know that. And nobody believed Urban Meyer when he said otherwise. Nobody believed him. So Trevor Lawrence has got the QB1 for Jacksonville. And, it's just, I hope that he makes it through the season without getting Joe Burrowed. I think there's a chance that could happen. I think there is definitely some deficiencies. Now, people, again, tell me, oh, well, last game, the center and the left guard were not in the game. Okay, well, I got film that I can look at from these guys before they were out that didn't look very much different against Cleveland. They played against 2 good defenses, and in both of them, with one game with their full starting 5, they looked bad. And then in the second game, where they were missing the center and the left guard, which arguably are the most fillable positions from a physical standpoint, maybe not from a mental standpoint, because the center position is like the quarterback position, and there's a lot that you need to know there. But, generally, from a physicality standpoint, center is probably the least physical position on the offensive line. Left guard is a very physical position, but you're in a phone booth, so there's not a ton of space that you're working with. So, fundamental technique will carry you through, even if you're not the best as a backup. But in both cases, they didn't look good. They didn't look good. Now, I will say Cam Robinson, I looked at a couple of plays that he had in the first preseason game. He looked better than the rest of them, but he still wasn't great. His technique was sloppy still. He's an athlete. He's athletic. He's able to recover from things that other linemen on that line don't recover from, but his technique is still sloppy. And a good, technically sound defensive end has shown to make short work of him all the same. So, a lot more on the line for Trevor Lawrence. But I think that, worst case scenario, maybe you rotate these guys in. I feel like that's something that's plausible. You rotate these guys in, you kind of, give them both some looks during the season, because I feel like you need to be prioritizing at this point, minimizing Trevor Lawrence's exposure to injury until you actually work on that offensive line. It's really not a matter of him being out there as a starter to try and win games, because this isn't the year to expect the Jaguars to make a huge push. I think next year is probably more feasible in looking into that and saying that they can be a team that gets a lot more done throughout the course of the season. But this year, man, as bad as things have looked in the preseason, and I know it's only the preseason, part of me is like, man, shelf him. Let him, bring him into the strategizing aspects of the team, because you're going to need to improve your playbook significantly. Watching the preseason games, seeing the offensive plays, how long they took to develop, there wasn't much in way of real creativity or rather strategic awareness. And it showed. It looked a little bit like a college offense. And I wasn't very keen to that. But also, you've lost your other first-round pick, Travis Etienne. So, this is a situation where you are handicapped. So maybe the Jags need to think about that. Also, let's see here. I think those were the two big ones, right? Oh man, I definitely have. Now this I definitely wanted to talk about because this person to me is absolutely. Let me see here. Before I go into that, let me see what you guys are talking about in the chat. Rodgers' contract was changed to 2021 and 2022 only. The 2022 contract is now tradable. Okay, that's clutch. Who can say the Jags O-line has looked okay last 4 years? No. In testing, anyone he didn't draft with the O-line got a pass. Yeah, no. I think that, I'm seeing what you guys are saying in the chat, and honestly, I didn't understand the logic that these guys had in saying that they would just draft the best player available, because that doesn't make sense. That's like counterproductive for a team that has a lot of needs. When you draft the best available, it's because you don't have a ton of needs, or you don't have any pressing needs at any positions. So it's kind of like a free pick for you. Pick the best player you can right then and right there. The Jaguars were not in that position. They were not in that position in any way. And Urban Meyer decided, I'm going to pick the best player available instead of picking the best player at the position that we need to improve our team at that spot, you could have went from any position on the offensive line. I would say maybe not center. Linder's a solid O-lineman. Linder is solid. Norwell's okay. He has his issues, but he's okay. Cam Robinson, athletic but inconsistent. I mean, if you're going to make a first round pick, I would have picked a left tackle, and I would have tried to move Robinson over to right tackle, and try to start with that. Maybe after you get a left tackle and you have a quarterback in your left tackle, maybe you grab another lineman in the 4th round or the 5th round. Hell, that's when I was selected. I was a 5th round draft pick, so 149. So. It just did not make sense for them to say they're going to draft the best players available, because that is like directly counterproductive to what the objective of the draft is. It's like, why would I draft a running back in the 1st round when I actually had an undrafted free agent, an undrafted rookie who has turned out to be a diamond in the rough, literally. This guy had 1,400 yards all-purpose last year, had 1,000+ yards rushing. You don't need a running back. You just don't. You can improve his catching ability out of the backfield. You can work on that. But then you have slot receivers for the same kind of thing. A slot receiver can be interchangeable between being in the slot and being at a H-back with the quarterback. We see that all the time in the NFL. Hell, Tyreek Hill, they put him in the backfield sometimes and run him out of the backfield. You can do that with the receiver. You don't need another running back to do that. And that's where I think there's a lack in just knowledge of how the game evolves. And that's, hey, this is a coach who hadn't coached in a while. Last time he was in Ohio State. But again, as a player, as somebody who got to actually like witness how these franchises try to process things, it didn't make sense to me that he would come in as a coach and not understand team building, because it doesn't seem that they did. It doesn't. I wouldn't even like, I wouldn't even say that they truly had a good draft outside of Trevor Lawrence. I wouldn't call the Jaguars draft a good draft. I would call it middling at best, So that's the situation there. Let's see. Yeah. You cannot just expect, if you're a coach who's watching and evaluating players, you have so many opportunities to evaluate them through film. You have so many opportunities to actually truly find the value of the guys that you have. If you aren't able to see that you have a problem in certain areas, and those problems have not gotten better over the past 4 years for the franchise, there shouldn't be any kind of waiting period. There's no way it's going to just get better. So, Jaguars, they got a lot of work to do. I know I've talked about them for a while, but it's my squad. I look into the happenings of the Jaguars in depth, and I just keep seeing history repeat itself with this team, and I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say. But moving on. Now I wanted to talk about this. The moment that I saw things starting to pop up on Twitter about this young lady. Before we do that, make sure you smash that like button. Please do me a favor and smash that like button. This YouTube algorithm has been brutal. I think they're like literally fucking with my views. I have videos that every time they get to a certain point, everything just kind of stops. And that shit has been kind of killing me. So do me a favor, hit that like button. Show some support there for the live stream, for the channel, as I continue to do what I do to try and help this thing grow. But Sha'Carri Richardson. This woman, I don't know. I don't know what her issue is, but seems to be flaming out and flaming out pretty badly. And I don't think there's anyone to blame but herself here. So we're going to start with this article from TMZ. Sha'Carri Richardson, runners Twitter likes offensive tweets about Jamaicans. So, for those of you who've been keeping up with this story with Sha'Carri Richardson, obviously, you know about her failed drug test for marijuana, got her banned from being able to be a part of the Olympics. She had set some kind of record when she qualified in the 100-yard or 100-meter sprint. So she had a lot of people who backed her on that, and at least the sentiment from most people was that, yeah, it's only weed, but it sucks. That shouldn't be a rule that's pressed on so hard. Me personally, I was like, hey, you knew if you failed for weed, you knew what was going to happen. So why do it? I understand that her biological mother passed and she was dealing with that, but you know what the ultimate goal is for you here. Olympics. So why would you jeopardize that? You could have drank your sorrows you could have drank yourself into a stupor. No problem. But if you smoke the devil's lettuce, if you smoke the devil's lettuce, it's going to be a wrap. You know that. Because whether you know it or not, even though people generally don't care that much about marijuana in the U.S., internationally, it is not the same. And this was in Japan. In Japan, they don't play with weed. First weed offense in Japan, you can get up to 7 months in prison. 7 months to a year in prison. And if you're a foreign national and you get caught with marijuana in Japan, you will get deported and you will never be allowed to return to Japan. I mean, I've been a few times. I've asked questions. I know what the rules are there. They do not play. It's actually highly looked down upon by general population for people who smoke marijuana. They're looked at as like druggies. There is a big stigma on people who smoke marijuana in Japan. So that's neither here nor there. You fail that piss test. And then from there, you have people's sympathy, which is fine. I have empathy for you, not sympathy, because you knew what you was doing. But I have empathy. From there, you missed the Olympics. And in your comeback, when everyone, all eyes were pretty much on you after the Jamaican runners, after the women's Jamaican track team swept through the Olympics and was just kicking everybody's ass, you have an opportunity to then come back in the Prefontaine Classic, and not only did you lose, you came in last place. Okay. You came in last place. And not only did you come in last place, which was, it was last. Where do you go from ninth? You last. There's nobody behind you. Not only were you last, but then after the race, when you were interviewed following the race, you start to talk shit. Because now you're embarrassed. Hell, she almost walked off the track before even really, people were done she was the last one, but she was walking off the track. She was showing poor sportsmanship before, she actually, before the ending of the race where, obviously the runners will congratulate each other. They'll talk to each other. And she almost tried to get away from doing that. The cameras got on her and she came back to it. And she acted, she tried to act the part, yada, yada, yada. But then she got in an interview. And let me just read from this TMZ article to kind of explain, from there, how things have unfolded. Sha'Carri Richardson seems to be bitter about the heat she's gotten after coming in dead last over the weekend, at least according to her Twitter account, which just liked an offensive tweet about Jamaicans. 21-year-old track star competed in the Prefontaine Classic in Oregon on Saturday, losing to the 3 Jamaican runners who won gold, silver, and bronze at the 2020 Olympics. Richardson, who finished with a time of 11.14, brushed off the L and welcomed any haters to talk all the shit you want to. And some Jamaican fans have taken her up on that offer by talking a lot of smack on Twitter. All of the jokes and jabs, one user in particular came to Richardson's defense, firing back with a pretty offensive tweet. Now, this tweet, it was some bullshit. It was some bullshit, but this is Twitter. This is Twitter we're talking about here. This is the land of bullshit. Twitter is the Matrix. Twitter is literally real life Matrix. Like, you plug in, you get on there and you argue, and that's pretty much that. Hell, I was in an argument for like 2 hours on Twitter today. Shit was annoying because every time I tried to turn away from it and do something else, shit started buzzing again. But this was a tweet that was put out there. Not y'all Jamaicans still talking shit when y'all gotta walk barefoot to your coconut stand every day for a living. That is some bullshit. Like, come on, man. You mad because she got her ass dropped running and you gonna go there with it? And she liked it. Sha'Carri Richardson liked it. And, of course, this only makes her look bitter. It only makes her look immature because it is an immature thing to really buy into this whole, talk shit back and forth because you were the one who lost. You had all these people behind you. You had general public sentiment behind you, and you decided that you were going to allow yourself to be drawn into being bitter because once you got the opportunity to actually run against these girls, they smoked you. They smoked you and everybody else smoked you. That just means you need to go back to the drawing board. You need to refocus and rededicate yourself to actually being a champion. Because it's right now you look like you look like a clown. You do. But that's your fault. That's not anyone else's fault. Now, not only that, this situation here also came up to pass as well. And this one I think is really, this one I think solidifies her 15 seconds of fame is over. Until she wins something meaningful as a track athlete and then shows the some kind of maturity, I think that this is a very damning situation for her. Because the Olympian, the greatest track and field star that the United States has fielded, Allison Felix, who showed support for her, said we should give Sha'Carri Richardson the support she needs. This was an Olympic champion, someone who knows what it's like to win, who comes out and shows you support. This was Sha'Carri Richardson's response. This was her response to an Olympic champion, someone who could have mentored her, someone who could have helped guide her in from a mental standpoint to being a better track athlete. This is what she had to say. Encouraging words on TV shows are just as real as, well, nothing at all. So this woman gave her words of encouragement and she blew them off, slapped them to the side. said that it's nothing. It's not real. Girl, listen. Your time is up. Your time is up. Don't nobody give a damn about what you do from this point on. Don't nobody care whether you run track and field from this day moving forward until you can show a little maturity and a little humility about yourself. You proved yourself to be a pauper. You're not a princess. You're a pauper. You proved yourself to be a bitter, jealous, hating ass motherfucker. Period. Shame. It's a damn shame because she had people behind her and she had companies behind her. They were sponsoring her after that situation with her failing the weed test. And look at how she's come out the other end of it. She looks like a straight loser. I'm talking about a straight loser. And she is. She came in 9th. You can't lose no more than she lost in that race. 9th. Clown. Holy crap. Mexican Iron Man for $20. My brother, what's good, Mexican Iron Man? Mexican Iron Man says, remember the good old days when sportsmanship mattered, grace mattered, and win or lose, the spirit of healthy competition was the mantra of the day. Absolutely, man. You are 100% correct. 100% correct. 100% correct. Because, look, man, take it from somebody who's been on a team that has lost a lot of football games. You know what I mean? Like, did it suck to lose football games? Absolutely. It sucked. It sucked to lose football games. But I tell you what, I loved every minute of playing football. I respected the fact that I was in a very, very fortunate situation to be able to play football. And I've sat next to my peers. As a player, I have been next to my peers, and the greatest thing that I ever heard from my own peers, from guys who had multiple Pro Bowls, from guys who had multiple Super Bowl championships, the greatest thing I ever heard from them was, you know what, bro? We've been watching film on you all year, playing against cats in our division, and we've been highly impressed at how well you've been playing and how much you've just been doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. It don't matter that y'all losing. Keep doing you. And to me, that was validation because I knew I was a baller. But who would know? Because I'm playing on a team that doesn't win. So to actually hear people who have rings on their fingers as I'm there next to them, tell me that I'm playing on the same level they play on, made me feel good. Made me feel good. And it validated my dedication to my position, to my craft, because I could have easily just been like, you know what, fuck it. We 0-8, we 0-6. It's whatever. It was easy. It could have been so easy to do that. It would have been so easy to do that. But I didn't. I still worked my ass off. I still soaked up all the information I could. I still studied my playbook. I still studied film. And I went out there and hell, I mean, there were games, man. I'm telling you, there were games where 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And I'm just like, shit. I mean, there was an entire half where, I can't remember which game it was exactly, but there was an entire half where we had 4 3 and outs in a row. That was like, I was just like, there's nothing I can do about that. I can only do my job. So I stick with what I'm doing, and I don't allow myself to fall into a, oh, woe is me type shit, because then your play begins to suffer because of it. And I think that in Sha'Carri Richardson's situation, as a person who was quite literally being held up by society, at least American society, about her situation. She did not respect that, and she did not use that opportunity to rededicate herself and to give herself, a chance to elevate her own craft because of it. I mean, and it's a damn shame, because now you are literally turning into a meme. You are literally turning into a meme. And it's your own fault. It is your own fault. There is nobody to blame in this but yourself. And for her to blow off a proven Olympic champion, probably the greatest female track athlete in American Olympic history, in Allison Felix, to me, that's like, all right, well, and not even that. I mean, well, yeah, that is a big part of it, but also the Jamaican track, the women's track team. Those women did not talk one iota of shit about her. They did not, try to disparage her in any way. They did not, the Jamaican fans, of course, they was taking shots, because that's what people do on the internet. They take shots. I mean, that's what it is. But these women just went out there, won their medals, and showed sportsmanship, showed respect to you. And here you are liking tweets that are taking shots at their culture, taking shots at them as Jamaicans, and you're liking it. That means you ain't shit. It means you ain't shit. So Sha'Carri Richardson, this is the last time I'm gonna talk about you. And we moving on. Cause hell no. Woo, damn. Got another super chat here from, let me see. Let me pull it up on this side here. Got another super chat from Teal Inc. $2 super chat. Appreciate it. Appreciate you very much. Says, can't donate much, but hope it helps. Love your vids. Thank you, man. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Look, I do this because I love to do it. But also, this is a very time-consuming thing. And I enjoy it. I enjoy the feeling of finishing a video and then hitting that upload button. I enjoy, hitting that intro button on my Streamlabs and seeing the intro for the live stream start playing. That gets me hyped up, because now we getting ready to get live. It's game time now. But also, very much when I see super chats, because that means not only the audience that's here, y'all mean a lot to me, but it is especially gratifying when someone decides, even if it's $1, even if it's $1.99, even if it's $2, to me, that is especially gratifying, because that means that you are enjoying what you're seeing enough to reach into your own pocket and say, here's a little something for the good show, for the good work. To me, that is, I'm not going to sit here and this isn't me asking y'all to throw in super chats. I'm just giving y'all my perspective, the things that motivate, but also things that let me know that you guys appreciate what I'm doing as much as I appreciate you guys for being in here. So I really do appreciate it. It doesn't matter how much you donate. Teal Link, $2. Hey man, love you for it. Thank you. Appreciate that, dude. Appreciate you. So anyways, let's get back into it. This one is one that I didn't necessarily prepare for, but it is a breaking news story that we got to talk about. This isn't one that I was necessarily looking at or I didn't have it on my radar. But damn, ESPN is going in, ain't they? Holy crap. Breaking. ESPN has taken Rachel Nichols off of all NBA programming and will cancel her weekday afternoon show, The Jump. Holy shit. I mean, why? Why? I don't get this. Aha. Is she being canceled though? Is this canceling? Is this like literally canceling? I mean, they canceled her show. She's been taken off all NBA programming. Is she done at ESPN? Has she quit? Has she resigned? Like, I don't know what the situation is, but man, this is like too much. And it's inconsistent. It's very inconsistent because, I mean, we all heard the recording that she actually recorded herself, which is, you know, hey, can't really, hey, you know, I know everybody has their personal opinions when the cameras are off. Everybody has their personal feelings. And I even, to a certain extent, I defended Rachel Nichols in what she said because I didn't feel like she was taking a shot specifically at Maria Taylor. I didn't think that. I thought she was taking a shot at ESPN for fainting that they give a damn about inclusion and having a diverse, robust, diverse roster of employees. I didn't. That's what I saw her entire recorded conversation as her getting at. You know, because I mean, come on, you know, she's a woman, so she deals with some of the same things. Not all, but some of the same things that African Americans deal with in that regard in trying to move up the corporate ladder. I mean, it's not all, you know, roses and sunshines for her either. I think that people were very reactionary about hearing Maria Taylor's name come up in her conversation. I think people were very reactionary about that. I think that that's generally what people are nowadays. Everyone wants to claim that they're not biased, but at the end of the day, you put something up that could be divisive on the internet, anywhere for people to see, on the news, whatever it may be, and people will react because people are reactionary and people are emotional and they don't think about, okay, is this really what I think it is right now? No, I didn't think that that's like, I listened to her and I did a live stream on this. I listened to her speak about you know, the shit record that ESPN has for the inclusion. And she pointed out that they're literally trying to replace her for that for that reason, when it's in her contract that she ain't the one. You're not replacing her for that. When that happened and she used Maria Taylor's name, everybody jumped on, everybody who was being a reactionary jumped on, oh, that's racist. But what was racist about it? She was making a point based on something that she saw to be true, something that actually was true, because they did replace her. And Maria Taylor, who now, using this as her own kind of galvanizing stance, she began to post subliminal shit to try and use that and talk. And I'm just like, come on, man. Look, I think it's fucked up that they done this, but I think that they were gonna do it because she was calling out ESPN, and they not gonna have that. So I think that they did that. I think that they got rid of her. I also think that they're trying to overcorrect because they look like some fools about how they handled this over the whole year that this recording was out there and ESPN employees knew about it, and they didn't do a damn thing to try and handle it within ESPN. And when it blew up into the public sphere, they looked like fucking idiots. They did. They looked like idiots. They look like idiots. And truth of the matter is, Rachel Nichols is going to be fine. Wherever the hell she is, just like Maria Taylor is fine right now. Maria Taylor, for all of the talking people were doing, all of the trying to prop her up on a pedestal, she ain't get the money she wanted because she wasn't worth the money that she wanted. There isn't a person on ESPN's roster who is worth more than Stephen A. Smith. There's not. And I don't even like Stephen A. Smith that much. He has his moments, but generally, I've got some very pointed issues with Stephen A. Smith. But even I can recognize that there is no better value, there is no more valuable individual in that entire organization as far as talent goes than Stephen A. Smith. That's why Max Kellerman is no longer on First Take. ESPN is removing, ESPN is just going to be called the Stephen A. Smith Network soon enough. Shit. I mean, it'd get better ratings. Guarantee you that. But it's crazy to me that ESPN is really this, they're really this reactionary to a situation like this, because one would think that it would be easy to kind of set your course when you're dealing with, your talent. Like, I don't know. I think Rachel Nichols is a household name. I think that in any network she goes to, if it's not with ESPN anymore, she'll be just fine. She's also got connections in media in general. So this is only a road bump for her. But looking at some of the replies here, says, in this world where you make one mistake, whether it's intentional or unintentional, and you get crucified for it, everyone nowadays acts and expects like you're supposed to be perfect. It's unrealistic. It's detrimental to everyone's life. Your mistake shouldn't haunt you your whole life. I agree. There are people out there in Twitter world who swear that I am just some pure, I don't even know, I don't know how to define these things because I never have used these terms to describe myself. There are people out there who think, oh, Uche is a leftist. What the fuck is a leftist? I don't know what that is. What does a leftist believe in? Do I believe people should be treated fairly? Yes. Do I believe people should be handled humanely? Yes. Do I believe people should follow the rules and not intentionally go out and cause problems for others? Yes. What is a fucking leftist? I don't get that. What this guy is saying here, I agree with that. Is this because she said she was more qualified than the other person they selected for an all-star game? Come on now. If your resume says you're more qualified for a job, but it's given to someone else less qualified on paper, wouldn't you raise your concerns? I agree with that. If I know as a veteran that I am better than the undrafted player that they bring onto a team, yet they pull me and bench me for this player, I'm going to have some questions. I'm going to be a little pissed. And if I notice that you're doing it for a reason that is outside of our production on the field, I'm going to say that shit. Story time. This happened to me. This did happen to me. Not exactly as this is presented here, but this did happen to me. This was going into my third year in the NFL. It was a competition between me and another offensive lineman for the starting guard position. Because he actually was hurt the season before, and that's why I became a starter my second season. He got hurt in the first game. I went into the second game. I went into the first game, and then I started from that point on. Now, in the preseason and through training camp, it was evident beyond a shadow of a doubt to everyone on the field, including the offensive line coach, including the offensive coordinator, including the head coach, that I was twice the player this guy was. More athletic, stronger, faster, younger. He was, I think this was like his 7th or 8th year, and it was just going into my third. And it was clear. And look, I had no ill will towards my teammate. I mean, he was he had in part been a mentor to me in certain respects as well. But he also knew that he was competing with me, so he didn't help me that much. But he offered little critiques and coaching points here and there, which I appreciated. I mean, I had no problem with him, but I knew that I was better than him. I knew I was better than him by a country mile. Shit. It wasn't even a competition to me. In my mind, I was clearly doing better than him. By the end of training camp, by the end of the last preseason game, there still had not been a starter announced between me and him, which I still was not even, I wasn't sweating that one bit either, because I knew there's nothing to really look at here. I'm better than him. Easy. First game of the regular season, I did not play a single down. I was on the fucking bench. First game of the regular season. I was so pissed off. I was like, what is going on? Like the week of practice. In that week of practice leading up to the first game, we were playing the Colts. This was 2000 what? This would have been 2009. We were playing against the Colts, week 1. And I was not getting any reps with the first team. And I was like, what is going on here? What is going on? I wasn't getting reps with the first team. I shared reps with the second team. With the second team, I would go 2 plays in and then another, and then a young cat would come in for 1 play. So I wasn't even fully second team. I was like, what the fuck I was pissed. I was like, but I hadn't blown up on nobody. I just literally was holding my composure, holding myself, holding my head up and just trying to just do my job. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, shit, by Friday, they gotta switch this up by Friday. They're just fucking with me right now. It can't be real. This can't be real. The beat writers were asking, Uche's not starting? Like, I heard radio silence from the Jaguars. Radio silence. When I knew they were on some bullshit, Friday comes. Now we're 2 days away from the game. Friday comes and they pull me off of second team and they put me in as a big package tight end. They put me in as a big package tight end. And I'm just like, what? They're like, yeah, Uche, be ready. We might use you on this package. I'm like, what the fuck you mean you're gonna use me on it? What, I'm gonna run a route? No, I ain't running no route. I'm gonna block. But what the fuck? I'm like, I was in my mind ready to swing on somebody. I was like, I swing on Dirk Cutter right now. I swing on this motherfucker right now. I swear. What's going on here? And I kid you guys not. First game of the season comes. I got 1 play. I'm sorry. I got 1 play. 1 play I went in at tight end. 1 play. I don't even remember that game. I don't remember that game for nothing. Every time I see that game in a highlight or in an old video, like if I see there's sometimes they show, I'll be going through YouTube and I'll click on a Maurice Jones-Drew highlight video and it'll show that game and I have no recollection of that game ever happening. I don't even think I paid attention on the sideline. I just sat there and was just like, these motherfuckers really done pulled the stunt. Second game of the season. Matter of fact, I don't even know who the fuck we was playing. Let me pull the schedule up. Let me pull the schedule up. What was this? This is no. This is what was that? That would be 2007, 2008, 2008, 2009, 2009, 2000. Yeah, 2009. Was it 2009 or 2010? Hold on, let me see here. Yeah, this is 2009. Boom, yeah. I don't remember any one of these two games because I didn't play in any one of these two games. I didn't get 8 down. I didn't even remember we played Arizona. Shit. I had no idea we even played them. Damn. But I tell you what, I remember this game. Oh shit. You know what? I think you know what, and this is just to kind of bring this whole point of this down. We played this game against Houston, right? And this was a game where, again, I did not start this game. And I was just literally, at this point, I was like calling my agent, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, how do I handle this? Like, they know I'm better than this cat. They told me I was better than him. Like, why are they playing with me? So, we go to Houston, and, we go to Houston, and let me see. Eben Britton was our right tackle. Eben gets hurt. Was it Eben that got hurt? I think it was Eben that got hurt. So they had to move our right guard to right tackle. And then they had to put me in the game. At this point in the game, we were like not doing shit. We weren't doing nothing. And man, you know what, man? Let me pull. I don't want to get copyright striked, and I don't want to. I don't know if you guys want to. I mean, because I feel like, you know what? I don't even think it's on there anymore. It might be. Let me check. Let me check YouTube. YouTube might have it. Oh, Lordy, Lord. Okay, I think. Okay. 2009, no, 2000. Yeah, week 3. Boom. Okay, so.
Jags and the Texans.
So I didn't start this game, but when they put me in the game,
Jaguars trying to avoid that 0-3 start.
I shit you folks not.
Be the first since Jack Del Rio's first season back in 2003. Matt Schaub
his mama, that's his
on the play fake. Says, you know what? Go get Courtier, David Garrard on the Courtier, David Garrard.
I'm not sure if I'm in the game here. No, I'm not. No, I'm not in the game yet.
On the play fake. Says, you know what? Go get it. Take it myself.
big man.
Jags on top.
I'm not in the game yet.
7. All right, here come the Texans and Schaub.
Let me see.
Johnson.
There's a big man. He stays open.
Okay. This was the first play they put me in the game. Oh, shit.
So the Texans doing it on offense, but they can't shut it.
This was the first. This is when they put me in the game first.
So the Texans
And that's me right
doing it
here.
on offense, but they can't shut anybody down defensively.
Now, if you're watching this, I know what this play was. In this play, this linebacker, that's Brian Cushing. Boom, hit him right there. He was trying to fire the gap to get in, and we roll it. First play. But that ain't even the play I really want you guys to see.
61 yards in the Texans 19.
That's not even the play I want y'all to see.
And Jones drew from
Okay. This is the play that won the game. Right here. This is me. Double team, up to the backer, D'Amico Ryan. This is me blocking 2 guys. It's hard to see, I know. This is before YouTube got on its HD game.
From the 8.
But this was the difference. Right up the A gap. Boom. Pick him up. Throw him to the side. Running back goes in. and that's literally what I brought to the table for this team. It's what I do. What I do. So, to make a long story short, after this game, I went to our O-line coach and I asked him, I said, Andy, I'm sorry, not after this game. This was going into the next week because after that, I was the starter. I just go, Andy, what the fuck was this all about? Why did you guys sit me on the bench knowing that I was a better player than the cat you had out there? Why did y'all sit me on the bench and have me and not tell me anything and allow me to sit there and be frustrated and be angry and not really know where my role was on this team? And this motherfucker told me, because we knew that you knew you were better than him and we didn't want you to get too big of a head. They was capping. They was capping. They was on that bullshit. And I just looked at them and I was just like, what? Like, so y'all were trying to tear my confidence down rather than, and make me feel nervous about something that I knew I was good at? Like, that's what y'all did? Like, that's how y'all thought that y'all were going to get through to me? That, you know, because y'all had the perception that y'all thought I was getting too, full of myself? Like, I'm better than him. What am I supposed to not be confident? So I say all of this to come back to the point of, when you know you're better than somebody and someone else tries to replace you with somebody who you don't believe yourself is better than you, you have every right to be mad about it and to actually ask questions or make your own speculate about why things are happening the way they're happening. And that's what Rachel Nichols did. That's what she did. That's what she did. She questioned the shit because she did not agree with what was going on. And not only that, she contractually had a guarantee that she would be hosting the NBA Finals. And now, here you have, when everything is said and done and the smoke is cleared, ESPN doesn't have Maria Taylor. ESPN cancels Rachel Nichols. And does this help their image any bit? No, it doesn't help their image any bit. It doesn't help their image any bit. And there are people on here saying she really ended her own career. No, I think that she, in a roundabout way, has been canceled. You know, look, at the end of the day, she did record that shit. She didn't know it was recording, but she did it. Still, was she really wrong in what she was saying? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. And I don't look at it as a race thing because I went through a similar situation. And it wasn't a race thing because we were both black. But it was the same treatment. Somebody who had better qualifications not being given the role they were supposed to have, that they had earned. So I can't get mad at her for saying what she said. I couldn't do it. I couldn't be mad at it because I know what that feels like. And that's bullshit. And it's not about race a lot of times. A lot of times it's about people trying to exert control and let you feel that they have control over you. And that's because that's what it was in my case. They wanted to temper my own confidence down. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to temper my confidence so that I felt like there was actual competition going on when there was no competition going on. I was better. And I proved it the moment they put me on the field. So, Rachel Nichols, I feel, I understand the situation that she was in, and, and it's not anything that I would wish anybody to have to deal with, regardless of race, creed, sexual preference, whatever it may be, because it don't feel good when you're better qualified and somebody else who is clearly not better qualified is chosen because of reasons. That's not a fun thing. It's not. And again, I look through, and there are things that I agree with in here. And again, that's where I always kind of like, I love to banter with people back and forth on the internet because I'm not scared to have no conversation about nothing. I'm not nervous to have a conversation about nothing. Nothing. I don't get offended easily, and I don't particularly care if I offend. Because if it's you choose to be offended. You're not necessarily always offended. You choose to be offended. That's usually a reaction to be offended. But I don't agree with her being. I don't know what the situation is as far as this goes. Whether her contract is up, because there was questions about whether or not she was going to sue ESPN. There were questions about whether or not she was going to sue them for a breach of contract, which I guess is one of the reasons why they bent over backwards to somehow slide her into the NBA Finals so that they didn't get sued. And now that they're kind of past that point, they thought that they were quietly removing her, but this is a cancellation, in literal terms. This is a cancellation, and I think it would be a real shame if Rachel Nichols doesn't really get back on as a premier sports news reporter, because she's done a good enough job. Like, there can be more than one. That's the shit that I don't get. Like, there doesn't have to be just one of this or one of that. There can be multiple. Like, that can be true as well. And that was a point she tried to make in that recording. That why is it just a woman at the table? Why can't both of us as women be at the table? Me and Maria. Why does one have to replace the other? That, to me, is the biggest and most valid question you could ask in that situation. Why is it that you have to choose one of us over the other? Why can't me and her be the hosts of the NBA Finals? What, you can't have two? So that's where, to me, I think cancel culture goes too far. I think it's too, that's where things become ultra reactionary, is because people lose their jobs just for having human emotions about things. I don't agree with that. But I'm a leftist, apparently. But I'm a libtard, apparently. You know what I mean? To me, that's a bunch of bullshit. Those are people who aren't educated enough, who not even educated, people who don't have good enough sense, who don't have enough life experience to understand that there's so much nuance to everything in life. There's so many nuances and variables to everything in life. So you can never say that one person is one thing or another, because it'll never be true. Because there are so many things that you can look, if you really dig into a person's psyche and understand understand mentally how they operate, there's so many things in there that contradict everything else that there's no way you can be one thing or another. So to me, I love to go back and forth with people online, because I love to see how they just literally become more and more tribal for no reason. Because when they finally figure out that I'm doing this to pointedly fuck with you, and as soon as you start bringing it down to more reasonable questions and reasonable perspectives, we can have a reasonable conversation. But if you want to be a jackass and you want to jump off and start talking shit, hey, I do it with the best of them. I promise you that. I do it with the best of them, and I do it in a way, I do it slick. I don't seem like, it's not me throwing a bunch of F-bombs or anything like that. It's just me just being a smart ass and just showing you how completely ridiculous your allegiance to just being on one side of thing is. Because there's no way you can be that way. There's no way you can be that way. That's just not human nature. Anyways. Now, we got another topic. We got another one that we're going to go through here. Oh, man. Now, this one, I think this one's a little bit more of a niche situation because we have, and this is obviously has more to do with extreme sports, but now we have Lil Nas X. I don't get what that, I don't know, I don't get the name. Like Nas, Lil Nas, Nas, X, whatever. Lil Nas X feels a certain kind of way because if you hadn't, and maybe I should, okay, well, I guess it is at the top here. Okay, here we go. Oh my God. Twitter just refreshed. Anyways, Tony Hawk, the Michael Jordan of skateboarding. Tony Hawk, first guy, I think he was the first guy to do the 900. Yeah, first ever 900, which is like what? That's like a 4 rotation. Let me see. I gotta see this. Hold on, let's take a look at this. Let's look at this. Because this was actually history. This was actually history, which I can fuck with this. I used to be a skater when I was young. I used to skate with my homies when I was in middle school. We'd be skateboarding. Oh, did he get it? Did he get it right there? I thought that was it. Yeah, he got that. Anyways, Tony Hawk gives a vial of his blood for new promo. And let's see here. I guess these were blood-infused skateboards. Let me pull up. I want to find a balanced article on this, which is going to be a hard thing to find. But I guess maybe we look at this. It says here, Tony Hawk is selling 100 skateboards painted with his blood. Each board boasts a vial's worth of Hawk's DNA mixed in with the paint for the decks. Now, I think these were what, $500 a piece? Yeah, 500. Okay, CNET. Let's see what CNET has to say about this. Says, 100 limited edition skateboards priced at a blood-curdling $500 each, sold out almost instantly. No doubt, serious skateboarders occasionally leave some of their blood behind when they take a fall. But a skateboard infused with real human blood? That's a step beyond. Skateboarding legend Tony Hawk actually donated some of his own blood that was then mixed with the paint used on a limited edition run of 100 skateboards, and they sold out instantly. Hawk posted an Instagram video of his blood being drawn and the blood being mixed into a can of red paint that was then applied to the skateboard. Then he worried about skateboard owners. The skateboard owners being in possession of his DNA and shouted, "No clones." The skateboard idea was a collaboration with water company Liquid Death Mountain Water. The company said on its Instagram that Hawk's blood was sterilized before being added to the paint, and also noted, although it could arguably make the world a better place, never ever use these boards to make clones of Tony Hawk. Representatives of the for Hawk and Liquid Death Mountain Water did not immediately reply for comment. Now this is the board here. I mean, pretty cool board. You know, he's got to be getting paid for this, obviously, in collaboration with these guys. But that has now drawn, the ire of Lil Nas X, who calls out the lack of public outrage. Whoops. Lil Nas X calls out the lack of public outrage over Tony Hawk's blood-infused skateboards. The rapper, who faced backlash for his Satan shoes released back in March, points out a double standard after Tony Hawk's limited edition skateboard painted with his blood sells out in minutes with little to no criticism. Well, Again, I can understand where Lil Nas X has a little bit of a beef about this, but if you totally understand your situation here, Lil Nas X, your shoe was not pulled because you had blood in it and you called them the, Satan shoes? It wasn't pulled because of that. Your shoes were pulled because they were not, the brand of shoe that you used was not your own brand. These were Nike branded shoes that infringed on Nike's intellectual property. Therefore, it is almost an immediate situation where their lawyers are going to file suit and ask that those shoes be removed instantly. Not because you did blood, not because you called them Satan, not because they're yours, not because they were your custom Nikes. Because you used Nike's shoe. You didn't even talk to Nike about it, which I'm sure if you would have talked to Nike and said, hey, I want to collaborate, can we do a shoe and call it Satan shoe? Hey, Nike would do that. I'm not going to say it's a guarantee, but I don't see a situation where Nike is like, nah, we're good. It's going to be a custom limited edition shoe. You're a popular public figure. You wear their branded shoes. This was going to be something that would give them even a bigger exposure to your audience. Okay. I mean, it's not like Nike actually needs your help and exposure, but it's not a bad move to make. It's not a bad move to make. And you didn't even think in making this shoe, which honestly, I thought it was a cool concept. I thought it was a cool idea to do it like that. But you didn't even think in all of this, of all of this collaborating you did with the company to do this shoe, you didn't think to yourself, let me holler at Nike, since it does have their check on the side of the shoe. That means you're not educated about how copyright infringement works, which means that's on you. You messed that up. So you can't get mad. Tony Hawk is not using any particular brand of skateboard to do this shoe. He's probably using his own brand of skateboard because I believe he has his own brand of skateboards. That would be like Jordan using, the Jordan brand and putting his blood in the bottom of his shoes, his Jordan shoes. He can do that because it's his brand. But I guess, and I randomly ended up on this, but this at Gundam is here actually speaks to this a little bit. He says, well, one, infringed on Nike's copyright, which is absolutely true. Two, Satanists selling blood shoes with a music video dancing on the devil's dick equals scares Christians. True. I mean, that is true. I'm not saying that that's a reason why his shoe got pulled, but from a social standpoint, absolutely true. Even though, we'll just leave it there. Tony Hawk, old white dude not trying to drum up drama. I don't know what that means. Pulled a race card. Did he pull the race card? I don't know that he did. I think there was a tweet he had up here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Lil Nas X, this was his tweet. He says, now that Tony Hawk has released skateboards with his blood painted on them, and there was no public outrage, are y'all ready to admit y'all were never actually upset over the blood in his shoes, and maybe you were mad for some other reason? No, this is missing the point. That's not why your shoe is not out there. Your shoe is not out there because you infringed on the copyright. That's pretty much where it begins and ends, if you're being honest. You infringe copyright, you probably ain't gonna be able to use that shit, period. And I think somebody here actually speaks to this. Sir, you're very talented and smart. Please don't continue to miss the point. Folks didn't like your shoes because it was a Satan shoe. What? And the vast majority of people, regardless of their views towards your sexuality, don't play with satanic imagery. No one's out to get you. I think that's partially true as well. Generally, people who are of the religious belief system, they generally look at satanic, imagery, and they get a little bit, people get a little bit nervous about that. Me personally, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. I mean, they're black shoes with red. I mean, if you know, this is the world history in me coming out. Actually, 666 is incorrect. 666 is not the mark of the beast in the biblical terms. It's actually 999. That is the mark of the beast. 666 is actually a incorrect translation of what the mark of the beast is. But I digress. People do have issues with that. Anything, you know, even with this Tony Hawk thing, I also think that the blood thing is very eccentric. And that is something that people who are of an eccentric nature will find, you know, will find that to be fashionable. I honestly, in a weird way, don't mind that look. But it is a very niche, very outside of the norm thing. And very small portions of the population will actually truly enjoy or see it as something that's a must-have for them. Obviously now his fan base will probably see it as a must-have because it's coming from him, not because they necessarily love blood and shoes. But yeah, you know, even with Tony Hawk, it's going to be Tony Hawk's fans who want that. Not because it's coming from him, not because they necessarily would buy a skateboard painted with blood, with real human blood, from any other company if it wasn't coming from a famous skateboarder who they actually admire. That's as far as that goes. So in that regard, I think he's missing the point here. And again, this is where I feel like our society today is just our society today is very fast to look at, how do I put this? Our society is very fast to turn to absolutes rather than to use deductive reasoning in order to formulate ideas and logic. People are reactionary and they are caught in the emotional side before they actually begin to break down and actually process what it is they're mad about, what it is they believe in, and whether or not what they're mad about and what they believe in are consistent over the course of their entire psychological profile when you're talking about, you know, things that you are for or against. Because you can be for one thing in this presentation that it's given to you, and you'll be against the exact same thing if it's presented to you from a different position or a different perspective, even though it is essentially the same concept with the same context applied to it. You would be against it, which means you are not consistent in your reasoning and logic when it does not pertain to something that you obviously care about. So in this situation, I think it is a perfect example of that. Lil Nas X is against the notion that Tony Hawk can do something similar to what he did, even though Tony Hawk is doing it the right way, whereas you did it the wrong way. And in a business world, in a business society, that will not fly where the company's brand is being used to market something in one particular way, and you take it and customize it to your liking, and then you market it. It's one thing if you just wore those on your feet as your shoes, but you marketed to sell them, which means now you are involved in the free market capitalism trade, which means you are subject to intellectual property rights that Nike has over that shoe itself, because you're trying to make money off of that. It's not going to happen. That's not how this system works. It's just not how it works. Shit. You know, so Lil Nas, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I do understand your frustration, but you also should understand that frustration should begin with your inability to recognize that you should have went to Nike to collaborate rather than to do something custom. Don't let somebody put an idea in your head with a marketed product and you think that it's fine if you take their product and use it in the market. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, anyways, with all of that, being said, that is going to be it for today's Lineman Life Live. You guys have been great. We've talked some stories. We're pretty much right on time here, hour and a half. That's why I really try to keep this live stream around. You guys have been great. You guys have been awesome. I would ask that all of you do me a favor and smash that like button if you haven't already done so. If this is your first time on the stream, subscribe to the channel, Uche Nwaneri, the Observant Lineman. And also, it's hump day. You made it through. Now, enjoy the rest of your evening. Hope everyone has a wonderful night. Stay healthy. Stay kind. Be humane to one another. Oh, and we got a super chat here. We got a super chat. RC from NYC. Man, you late, bro. What's going on? You late. Did you just get in here? Don't tell me you just got in here. Okay, no. No, you didn't just get in here. But RC from NYC, $10 super chat. My guy, I haven't seen you in a minute, man. Good to see you. He says, what's up, Uche? What's up, chat? Hope everyone is well and safe. Love your comment about absolutes. Some would live in an echo chamber than would think things out. Thank you very much, man. I do appreciate you dropping a super chat to let me know that. You've been here since day one. So big shout out to RC from NYC. And don't think I don't see the posts that you send me on Instagram. I see those when you shoot me those football memes on Instagram. So I appreciate that as well. Yeah, no. I'm glad that you understand where I'm coming from. I think people are just too caught in their reactionary nature, and they look at things from an absolute standpoint when there is no such thing as absolutes. Like Obi-Wan said, only a Sith deals in absolutes. Anyways, that is going to be it for me. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I will catch you all on the next live stream. Lineman Life Live.